Okay, we're back. Sorry about the little break we had. I just converted all the values that I accidentally put as an S15 now to 25, and I think I updated my writer to do that. My cat's in my office right now, which is not really ideal because she's gonna try to destroy everything. I'm gonna have to kick her out. I want to see what the how are we doing this before? Right, so I want to make it into 25. Okay, so we did reset it there. If I go into this, my cat is trying to climb up all these storage boxes, trying to climb up the window. What the hell are you doing? My cat is being so dangerous. She's got all four paws. Oh, Jesus Christ. Just jumped onto my desk. Almost spilled my water. Do you not want to be in here? Should I let you out? Alright, let me get up real quick. No more cats in here. She only wanted to be in my office when I wasn't in it. She wanted to be alone. Okay, do we have trees? Yes, finally we have trees. Alright, looks pretty good. They're nice and small, which is what I want for the villages. Thank you, Steve Wade. Because I don't want them to, like, if we want to have one pretty close to a building, I don't want them clipping into a building or anything. We probably have to increase the size of the planter, like, hole. But that's easy enough to do. Cool. Let's check out these lanterns, because they're probably not placed too well. At least with the current radius I'm setting up for the lights. We can increase that radius. But we're going to model new ones. Okay, so. There we go. So yeah, like this area, like this road is nice and well lit. But there are definitely some areas that are not as lit. Over here is not bad. Yeah, it's darker over here. Around this corner. I'm going to go into Blender and make much better models because I do not like my current one like at all. I don't like that weird brown color. I don't like the weird texture on it. I really don't like anything about it other than that it's a light source. I want them to be taller. All right, so Blender. I could base it off the old model, but I'm probably better off just making a new model. I don't remember for sure. I don't think I'm doing anything separate with the faces to make them glow. I think we just have a particle that kind of goes on top of it. So I have complete control over just how I want this to look. I can do whatever I want. So I'm just going to mock up some things and see how it goes. How do I want this to look? So we currently have it quite square. I could try to round it more. Yeah, let's do that. That's probably fine. I want to taper it in. And then for this one, I think I'm going to do like a double light. So we're going to have a branch off this way and this way. The only thing that's a bit awkward about that is that if it's not symmetrical on all four axes, or well, both axes, I guess, that rotation would matter. Which is okay, it's not a bad thing, but like, might want to be a little bit careful about which way it should face. I mean, we can do 4 lights off of it. I like the idea of 2 though. Yeah. Alright, let's do that. And then I'll have one that's one that's modeled in the center, and then one that is offset of that. And since this is the center, this is actually not our center point. We're gonna have to move it over because our grid units are 2 of these units. I should probably bring these units down so they're the same size as mine, but whatever. Okay, so this is our start. And then I want to do something. Maybe I should have a mirror modifier, but last time I did that I regretted it, so I'm gonna try not to do it. Grab this face. Let's extrude it up. Yeah, this should be fine. Let's do this view, and then we can kind of just manually move this around till it looks right to us. Maybe I should also be tapering this, but I don't know yet. Something kind of like this. How many triangles is this? Okay, we're not too bad on the triangle count. Then we're going to also go this way with it. And then, all right, what do we want the actual lantern-y part to look like? Maybe I don't want that to, whoops. Should probably just Google some like downtown lanterns, but I try not to do that in general because I don't really want to be influenced by something else. I'd rather come up with something that can look unique. I want quite a bit of detail on these. Also, I want to make sure I'm making them tall enough. This is like way too big, I'm realizing. I think. Oh, no, it's not. Those are our grid units. Okay. It's actually way too small. If those are our grid units, which I think they are, not these ones. These ones. So let's scale that up off of our 3D cursor quite a bit. Because the player is about... Hold on, that's 2 units. So I think the player is one of these. Okay, so actually it's not maybe too big. I don't know. It's so hard to tell scale inside Blender. Maybe it's okay. This is 1 unit. So the player is 2 of these. Okay, so it is too small. Geez, sorry about that. It's like really hard. Okay, so if we did this and scaled that up to about there. Yeah. Okay. That's a better scale. I need to make this look not like shit. Let's just look at this again. How do I want to do this? If we had an extra face, so let's grab this, go to individual origin, scale it up a little bit. I want to bring this out as well. Yeah, something a bit more like that, I think. Yeah. And then I guess these should be scaled in a little bit. Trying to figure out how I want to model the lantern part. If I duplicate it and then I'd have to rotate the right amount. Is that right? I think I want to do 20 degrees maybe. So we'd want to do it so it were, I guess we have 6 sides. I guess it'd be 360 divided by 6, right? So that gives us 60. That's not actually right. We want to do half of that, I think. So 30, I think, is what we want. I'll try 60, but that's going to align with the face. Yeah, so if we did 30 now, yeah, that's what I was going for. And if we scale that up on this axis, and then I want to split all of those, but I need to get rid of the caps. Get rid of these faces. And then on the one that we just moved, so this one, I want to do an edge split. So then if I do individual origins on these, I could scale them in this way. I think that's right. Yeah. So these would be like little posts to block the light, like how we have these vertical posts. I wanted to make them two-dimensional. That's why I did this so complicated. I just wanted to make sure there's no clipping. Scale it up a little bit, and then we want to have probably a top and bottom to this. So I guess we'll just duplicate this face. Scale it up. Maybe we want to, I don't know which way we want to have that rotation. Maybe this is fine. Extrude it up. And then maybe that's good enough to start with. I don't know. I want it to have some nice character to it. I want it to look not so modern, which is unfortunately starting to look very modern and I don't like it. But maybe we can fix that. Maybe I should be Googling some stuff. I probably should. But I'm going to try my first attempt anyway. And then we can Google. And then what my idea was, I want to double side. I want to have this on both sides. So we can just probably just grab these faces, which is probably fine. And then rotate it off of our 3D cursor. 180 degrees. And then there we go. It's not terrible. We shouldn't have the light coming from, we shouldn't have it attached there. We should probably, I guess, attach it at the bottom. So let's do this and then get rid of these selections. And then bring it something more like that. Yeah, that's a bit better. I like that. I think I want to maybe make this still a little bit more unique. Maybe taper this whole thing. Whoops. Yeah, much better. Much better. All right, so we can just grab probably this whole entire shape. So you could just duplicate it, you know. Let's get rid of that. Whoops. That whole shape. Let's get this one working well, and then we could do other things. Okay, so let's try merging this to try to save on the poly count, and then just bring it out, hopefully. Maybe I can't merge it. I want it to. Maybe I could, but maybe not exactly. I could kind of get away with it almost. If I bring this one out. Oops, why is that doubled? Shit. When did that get? Okay, there we go. I think. I don't know. We could always do a remove doubles on it, and that'll help. Maybe we just want to have another cut there. Whoops. Just adding to the poly count, but whatever. If it helps the look a lot, then it'll be okay. A lot of that might not get seen because we're going to have another one go off of it, but I'm not super concerned about the poly count. It'd just be nice to, you know, not have unnecessary shit going on. We can probably, I know, I was going to say we could probably merge that and bring it down, but can't really because I don't want to taper out. Now we can't do that. Do we need that double layer of detail? I mean, yeah, kind of. I kind of like it. All right, this is not bad. I think I want to move the lantern back down a little bit more. Whoops. But we have to be careful about that merge. But that might be a bit better. Maybe we want to make it so they like really do look like they're hanging entirely, in which case we probably can't do a merge on it, but that's okay. Maybe that's okay. We'll get it in game, see what it looks like. We'll have like different wreaths and stuff hopefully spawn on these, you know, for the different holidays, and that will help with things, maybe get banners hanging off them. But let's grab all of these vertices, duplicate it, and then make sure we're on 3D cursor here, rotate this 180 again. Okay. Maybe I should have done a vertex paint first, but it's easy to get rid of again if I decide to. Okay, let's paint this up. I want it to be very dark, like a nice cast iron look to it. I'm not sure how I'm gonna make this not look too flat yet, but hopefully, well, you know, we'll bring it in game, see how it looks. Let's just paint the whole thing black, and then let's paint these bits white, probably full white. Let's look at this in daytime. I'm pretty sure they're full white in daytime. Ooh, if we use our structure shader, I guess I can make them look like that blue glass. Would that look weird? Maybe not. And then they would glow the same way, which might look really good. At nighttime, they'd have this same glow to them. Maybe. We'd have to make them solid red. We're just going to look like shit in the viewer, but that's how we're detecting the right vertices to make black. I mean, to make glass. Now, I could double up on the back faces on these ones. Because if I do back face culling, yeah, I guess they should have their back faces, I guess. All right, let's do that. So if we go to this view and grab everything here, then undo the middle selection, and then duplicate that, and then flip direction. Now I have the back faces on those. Let's also name this. Call it Village Lantern 2. I kind of just want to try it just like this, even though I know it's kind of a lot of triangles. It's 292 triangles. We're not going to have a ton of these in the village, I don't think. It's not terrible. It's definitely not great, but it's not terrible. I think we'll be able to handle that. And I don't really know exactly where I'd want to remove detail. I mean, this might not need to be as smooth. And I guess we can get rid of like a little bit down here, but like I want some sort of base to it. So actually, I want to taper these. I mean, it's not going to affect the poly count at all, but it will look nicer. Let's taper these out. I want to make sure I'm not selecting this. Probably do that more because well, we're going to have, you mean because there's two bulbs, right? It will have two of these particles spawning in the right spot, so this glowing particle will be there, but the actual point light will just have one in the center because you can't tell the difference in the game. But the particle, yeah, we'll have to double those and have those in the right spot. We could have doubled the light sources, but you wouldn't be able to see that anyway. Okay, maybe I don't want to taper the bottom one, so I had to bring this one in. But we could, if we want, wait, if we want to have just as much taper, we can do that, but then bring this up, right? kind of. Sure. Whatever, let's just get it in game, see how it looks. I guess I need to unwrap it just so it's in the model. I probably should be a little bit more elegant with my coloring and not just make it solid, but we'll see how it looks in game. And see if it looks too flat, which it probably will. I have some ideas to fix the flatness of it, but let's just see how this looks. So export the PLY. Oh, wait a second. I think I have to move this. I think we have to move it. So if we have a top-down view, or however I do that. Shit. Okay. I think this needs to move to 2, and then 2 or -2 on the Y. Well, let me look at where front is. I think that's right to center it. And I think if I'm smart about how I do this, in the editor tool, we can just preview them live without having to do a bunch of refreshes. So we -Z forward, Y up. Why is Phoenix Fox bookmarked there? I don't want that. I don't know how to remove it. Oh well. Remove from quick access. There we go. Okay. So we're searching for Village Lantern. Can I search in the middle of a word? No. Did I not? It's under Phoenix. What the fuck did I do with this? Why is it under that folder? Why is this so stupid? Weird. Should still find it though. Why is there no matches? I gotta fix this fucking Blender file bullshit. There's just like a million files in a million random folders. Whatever. Just manually. Okay, so I'm gonna definitely get rid of the old lantern because I hate that model. We're not gonna compress it anymore. Hopefully it was using not that we're using the texture right now, but hopefully, ooh, now that we have glass, we need to just detect glass on it. I forgot about that. Detect glass, true. Hopefully that'll look nice. And then we need to figure out for the particle spawn stuff, but let's go into the builder tool and see if it's using these models. Okay, so it's using them. It's using the right shaders, which is nice. I don't know if I like the green, the blue during the day on them, but the glow is probably fine. I mean, we could always change it so they're white instead of using the glass shader on it. Hold on, I gotta close my blinds so the sun is in my eyes. Okay. And then there's the issue of rotations. Also, I guess I didn't understand where to place them. That's actually a not bad placement for when I want to offset them, but it is a bad placement. Huh. It's unexpected. So he did want to center it? Weird. Very interesting. So we're gonna have like a lantern center and a lantern offset, I guess. So this is our like corner one, we'll just call it. There are some issues that come along with that though. Damn it. Oh, maybe not. Maybe it'll be fine. This is our lantern center, we'll call it. And then we will recenter this one and re-export it as our, well, resave it as our center one. And then we'll export as a PLY as our center one. Okay, so we're gonna want both of those. Let's grab the model data for that. Why is this search so fucking broken and shitty right now? Okay, so here's our centered one. I'm a little concerned about how I did the corner because the orientation is going to be harder to rotate because it's also going to be rotating its position, not just rotating the planter. It's going to be rotating the corner that's attached to. So maybe I will come back and make this so like it's symmetrical on both axes. I'm not sure. But let's get both of these in here. Well, let's put it in, I guess, here. And then for the lantern inside the village builder, let's look at what we're doing with that. We're going to change the IDs on these. Let's do 22. I don't know if that's being used. Let's see. It is. It's kind of annoying that it can't be together. We could do that though. Let's just change these. Let's do 26 and 27. Sure. This is our, we'll just call it lantern center. And this is our lantern corner. Let's do 26, 27. Oh, I'm moving all these IDs now. Okay. And what was the old ID? It was, I gotta go back for a second, but it will go forward again. The old one was 23. Okay. Why can't I redo? I can, but it's frozen. There we go. So now we have that. Let's look at what we're doing. 23. Whoops. Okay, so now we're just going to have it for 26 and 27. Again, I know I need to make an array for these, but laziness. And then model var model name. I think that's okay to have that variable set up like that. Yeah, it should be. Equals, and then we're going to say planter and I equals 26. Shit code. I mean, yeah, that's okay. Do we really care right now? At least we have cool results, right? I mean, the village looks cool. That's all I care about. I just want the village to look cool. All right, so then our model name is going to be lantern center or lantern corner for 27. Pretty sure I'm doing this shorthand correctly. Right? Is this, and then if true or false. Pretty sure I'm doing that right. I don't remember if I put those two models in. Okay, I want to first get rid of all of these placements because they're going to have a different ID on them. Shit, that was weird. Oh, it doesn't know about those models now. God damn it. Damn. Can't see where they are now. Right. Yeah, it is cool. I should do it more often, really. Okay, so the old one was 23, right? Let's just buffer some shitty model for that. Yeah, I just want like a cube. See if that works. Or is it 22? Was it 22 or 23? It was 23. Shit. Errors. Y. Property Y of undefined. Oh, because it doesn't have rotations for that. God damn it. Alright, what could we spawn there that will be noticeably visible? I guess we could do a tree planter. I really hope I'm remembering the right ID. I must be, though. Yeah, because 23. 23. So I'm assessing 24, which was... No, fuck, I can't remember now. Oh, bad memory. Let me see inside here what we were doing in the Git stuff, because I can't remember. Hi, Cypress. I'm doing pretty good. Making villages look way better than what they did. What the hell? What happened to Git here? With... That's not supposed to happen. Okay, but we were focusing on our IDs. And it used to be... Yeah, it was 23. Okay. So we have that as our test one, and then we just need to refresh because it broke it. I guess I should make it, yeah, let's make it spring so I can see the Easter decorations on all this. That should work, I hope. We just would have to refresh again. Okay, so there should be, yeah, so all these test areas where I have that tree. Now if I call the builder tool, I can now remove those and put the right lanterns in their place. Oh, I did not think that through. We can't do it with that as a test because we're not seeing static. What the hell model do I want to place there? We'll do the road planter. This is just to fix the broken layout, and then we could remove that. Okay, so now if we rebuffer this, come on Chrome, stop being shitty browser. Yeah, okay, that's working good. So, what was our sets for it? We want to use, I guess lantern center, so 26, which is for 4. Apparently we have some sort of length issue. I'm going to try to ignore that. Hopefully it doesn't continue to be an issue. Alright, that's 4. So in theory, I left a hole in the ground. Oh, is that because I couldn't place it? Might have some issues here. So I can remove. Lantern center, lantern corner. It's no weird typos, right? No. Let's see what this error was for. Model list. And now that's breaking my writer, it looks like. Maybe we're okay. But we don't see any of the lanterns. So why is that? Does it not? Do we not? Oh, we don't have rotations. That could be part of it. Yeah, that could be hopefully all the issues. Now, well, that's okay. Maybe we're not using, we didn't write any of those placements yet. I don't remember. So now if we go into this, and I believe it was for 4, so let's reset it to 4 and see if this works. No, we still don't see them. So 26 and 7. We don't want to undo the rotations though, so we can get rid of that. That still shouldn't be the issue, but we don't want that there. I guess the rotations we do want to reset on those. We can see if other things are being written and not just the, see if it's just the lanterns that are broken or what. So let's do yard curb. So it's 10. I think I'm, no, that wouldn't make sense. Okay, so that is working. See those spawning down, right? Now we just need to figure out what's wrong with these lanterns. So it's for 26. Scale. Did I accidentally leave that in there or something? Did that break it too? It did. What the fuck? Cursor scales, cursor set scale. Placement 26. Oh, I said it's 26, not 4. Okay, whatever. Refresh. Just want these lanterns. I don't know why I don't see the lanterns. Very bizarre. Saw them before. Maybe, oh, maybe, let's look at, whoops. Let's look at what we're doing, this. Maybe, oh, I'm stupid. I forgot to put this here, I guess. Okay. And then for here, we're planter. Okay. We should be good to go. Do another refresh. And then we just need to figure out some stuff with placements. And then we can get rid of this here. And we do want to allow rotations on them, unless we make them a symmetrical model eventually. Okay, so we should see them in world, and then we should hopefully see them. Well, maybe we wouldn't see them in world yet. Okay, so now if we set our cursor to 4, hopefully this will work. No. Let's space this out like I'm doing up above. I have a color multiplier of them. I probably want to leave that so the white, but we're not actually glowing that. Probably don't need that. I'm going to leave it there, but comment it out. The parent buffer's village, that should be fine. Lantern center, lantern corner. We were seeing it before, and now we're not. Is there something that is overriding for placement 26? It definitely shouldn't be. It definitely shouldn't be. Maybe I'm doing this bit wrong. Am I forgetting how to do that? Pretty sure that's correct, right? So if the placement I is 26, then set it to lantern center, and then if it's false, set it to lantern corner. I think that's how, unless I'm like mixing up what symbols you're supposed to be using. I guess I could try to start logging stuff. We still have this length issue. It's fucking up my model list? How is it doing that? I'm confused. I mean, we have the test ones we can get rid of, at least. But I don't really want to get rid of them until I can replace them with what I want to replace them with. Alright, let's paste this in console. I don't know if I made any changes, but in case I did. Let me go over here. Probably get rid of a lot of this console logging that we don't really need anymore. So if we set this to, well, what's that to this? Right, so that works. Set to 4. Doesn't work. What's that? 5? That also doesn't work. Okay. So here we're allowed to reset model name. Maybe rotation is a thing that we want to do. That shouldn't matter a whole lot, since we're not using it. I guess we just don't know. Maybe we just want to copy everything here and just have model name get used. Oh, chunks of entities. That should be okay. Model ID lantern. That should be fine. Might even want to change it so it changes the static ID, but that shouldn't be the issue. Let's paste this whole bit here and swap model name out. Yeah. Maybe we were doing something stupid there. No. What the fuck? Also, why do we have 5 rotations on here? We want 4. We don't have it on lantern center. When did I change this? Put it on the wrong things, didn't I? We don't want it there, so we want to have this. Rotations need at 4 on the Y. Same thing here. Maybe this is part of the issue. Hopefully this is. It would make sense. Let's look at our yard curb. Okay, so that has a scale, but that shouldn't really matter. And then rotations need it like that. And has positions and colors. Rotations need it. Rotations need it. Same thing. Detect glass, that should be fine. It's so weird. And that works perfectly fine. What did I... We had this working. Alright, maybe I really am doing that thing wrong, where we declare what things should be. What? Oh, that's right. That is this or this. I'm doing that right. Oh, I'm stupid. Fuck, I'm so stupid. I accidentally said if the placement is corner and center, not if it's corner or center. Okay. Yay. And we should be able to rotate them. Yay. Okay. So get rid of these. I guess I want to face them that way, I guess. It's a bit, we could actually do a double placement for these ones, and I guess that would be an okay thing to do. I don't think that would break anything. Huh, that's kind of cool to be able to do that. I like that. Yeah, so sometimes we can do double, sometimes we can do quadruple, depending on what makes the most sense for that placement. I'm pretty sure that'll work fine. Maybe, ooh, what happened there? You might have too many vertices in the draw maybe or something. But we're not sending it as a message, so it actually shouldn't be that big of a deal. But clearly it is. Shit. And they are kind of high poly. Okay, I'm gonna have to figure that out. Now, why would that be? It probably has to do with indices. Maybe we can just have indices turned off. For this row, this does not have to be a double. Yeah, that's probably because I'm doing my indices as an int 16, and max value of int 16 is like 15,000 or something, right? That's up how 2 to the 16th. Right, that's right, 65,000, but we want to divide that by. So if we have that number, and we're dividing it by, I guess, is it 3 or 9? I think it's 3 because they're indices, right? So the max poly count of that model could be 21,000. We're probably at that point now. Now we can do it as int 32. I believe that's a thing, right? So a new int. Yeah, we can do an int 32, and that gives us way, way, way more, like many, or times more. That's probably what's happening here. I can try to check with that by, if you look at the buffers, buffers village, I think we're just calling it. It might be clearing the length. Okay, so that's a pretty good idea of what's going on with this. I mean, we could probably just look at our poly count rendering, but this is a better way to do this. So if we did this, divide it by 3, that's our poly count, I think. Or is it divided by 9? I never know. Okay, that would make sense because that's right near our edge of what we're allowed to do. Yeah. And I guess it would be, yeah, it would be divided by 9 because there's 9. There's 3 positions and then 3 vertices for each of those. Okay, so that's what it is. It's our int 16 that we're storing for the buffer. Should we just make them always int 32s? And hopefully it wouldn't affect performance that much. It probably wouldn't. Pretty sure like it would just be basically one line. Maybe, let's see, how many places are we doing this? Shouldn't have to do with those, I don't think. Web workers. We're not pushing this one through to a web worker, so it shouldn't matter a whole lot. We can have a special thing for complete buffers where we can pass this through. That's for bind buffers. All right. We can just have a special bit of code here that says use in 32. Sure. That's kind of shitty. I don't want to do it that way. You know what? No, we will have a separate function that we can call for binding. This should be fine. We'll call this bind buffers in 32. That way we're not going to call this all the time. And maybe we'll just call bind buffers inside it and then rebuffer the data for our indices, and that I think would be okay to do. Maybe I even want to call this, I don't know. Let's see if this even fixes what I want. So if we have that function, and then we look at where we're binding the buffers for the village in this function, bind buffers. Right, this is for our function here. So then if we just call bind buffers int32 for village here, see if this magically fixes everything. We have an error. Model buffer is not defined. Oh shit. That makes sense. It sucks that I had to break it to do that. Yeah, it's gonna be broken now, huh? Can't even do this, right? Nope. Okay, whatever. I should have maybe exported my model before I refreshed, but whatever. We didn't make that many changes. I'm gonna spam down a bunch of lanterns to make sure this is working. And we just want to we'll log the count every now and then of what we're up to. So this would be the buffers.positions .length divided by 9 is what we're going to be looking for. All right, let's run the builder tool. I want to find it in here because I don't want to change it to my pasteboard. Oh, I typed in int13 array. Where did I typo that? Whoops. 32. Luckily, it might not have broken everything. No. Let's refresh again. I don't know if this is going to work either way, because pasting in the new bit isn't making it work, but maybe it'll be okay. And maybe we want to do 32 everywhere, or maybe only sometimes, or maybe we won't need to ever other than the debug tool, because right now we're making everything in one giant chunk, and normally it'd be spread across multiple chunks, as long as that chunk area does not have that many polygons, which hopefully it wouldn't. Okay, so will this work by just ascending 30? Okay, I mean, it's rendering something. Why exactly is that? Is it because we're buffering at a 16 and then redoing and buffering at 32? That should be fine to do. So I don't think it's due to that. That should be fine. So is it that somewhere else in the pipeline is expecting 16 and not getting that, like in our render function for our default entity? Is there a 16 something here? There probably is. So it's for indices. There's something about there's unsigned short. Maybe that would be. I don't know. That would. Will we not make that a short? Let's redraw elements. We can get rid of indices on the whole model probably, and just do that instead. I think that would work. That's the alternative. And then we do draw raise, draw mode, draw vertical length. Let's look up the draw elements function. GL draw elements. I guess I want to look at it here maybe. I don't know. So then it's mode count type. Type is specifies type of value in indices, unsigned byte or unsigned short. I don't think that's the reason. We still have that length issue, but maybe that was, I don't know, always there. I don't know. Okay, instead of doing that, I guess I'll leave that function there because we're not really going to be calling it. What if we just get rid of indices? So we want to change the draw type on it. That might be okay. So we wouldn't bind it. So that would be for when we init it, our draw type, we're going to change. We just look at like game.world. I think it, I don't have to do this in console, but whatever. Game.world.player. I think it's draw type. Yeah, and then one is, let's look at the constant for this. That's actually what we'd want. Yeah. I don't know if we can just change draw type and it will work automatically, but if it does, that'd be cool. So this is our village. If we just sent draw type to 1, and in fact, let's even try to, I don't know if this will work, but let's try to do it in console. So if we went to game.world indoors.entities, we have a bunch because of all of our lines, but it's at index 83. Okay, and if we change the draw type on it, which probably isn't even defined. Oh, it is. Okay, so that's a 1. Okay, interesting. It's kind of better. Like things are kind of in the right places. It's better than the other one, right? It's better than that. So if let's try to do some stuff in the buffer function. Right, so we got rid of that 32 one, right? Let's go outside over here so we can rebuffer things. So why is this? It's because it's because we're generating indices, right? So it's removing positions because we're generating indices. I kind of just want to use 32-bit indices. I don't really want to do it this way. I like the indices. So why can't I just bind the 32-bit ones? I don't think it's because we're doing 16 first. I don't think. That shouldn't matter because that should just overwrite the buffer data. And I don't think it's due to this. We can try putting byte there. Let's paste this in the right order into console. Okay, so this will give us 32-bit. Our draw type we need to change, right? Forgot about that. Okay, so that does weird stuff, right? So if we go into here and make it an unsigned byte, no, that's worse. So unsigned short. So where else is it expecting int 16? Let's look up int 16 in here. So this is for the buffers, which we should be changing to 32, although I don't see that in here. Did I? This is for bind buffers. Hold on, bind buffers. Oh, it's for bind buffer, right? Okay, that makes sense. And then it is uint 32, right? maybe it's not uint. No, uint 32 array. That should be fine. Uint 32 array. And then let's see what else it might be expecting in 16. We don't need those. Maybe here. It shouldn't be part of web workers, I don't believe. So maybe it has to do with some sort of get model push stuff. Shouldn't be there. Shouldn't be any of these. So the only place I can think of would be here. I don't even think it would be this. That's for compressed stack model. No, it's not there either. So is it somewhere that we're passing through a length? Ooh, maybe it is in our shaders. Shaders. Maybe we're passing through 16. I don't know where to find that. But when where are we doing that? We might be specifying the byte length. Let's look at everything with indices in this file. Is there anything else with indices? Or it's just there? Okay, let's look at where else we're doing indices. So I feel like you specify like your array bits or something. Or maybe you can't do an int 32 with indices in some sort of weird way. Maybe WebGL doesn't like int 32 arrays as buffer data or something weird. Why that would ever be, I don't know. It doesn't make sense, but okay. Our model buffer indices, what does that create it as? So we're doing create model. Yeah, that could be it. Create model or create buffers. No, it's just an empty array. We're not doing it in 16. And that makes sense because I don't think you can push to typed arrays. Huh. Why can't we just do a 32-bit? We could try a 64-bit. I think they let you do that, right? That's a thing. Oh, a big, wait, what is that? It's a big int 64 array? Fuck, okay. Sure, let's try that. That's in buffers. Not much to lose. Might as well try it. Ooh, didn't like that. There's a couple ways to solve this. I don't like any of the solutions. Why can't we just use 32? Why is it not like that? Can we do... I don't know. That should just work. Maybe I'll do something with this so it doesn't use that. Maybe I'll just force everything to be 32 as a test in console. Because actually, why couldn't everything be 32? If that's the only place we're changing it, why couldn't everything just be 32? Okay, so Cypress. The issue that I ran into now, and it's really only an issue for this dev tool, is I'm storing my indices as a unsigned int 16 array, right? Which normally is fine, but since just for this dev tool, because normally my draws are not that many polygons, right? But for this dev tool, I'm making the entire village one draw call, right? So it needs to be all one model. But since the int 16 array, that means we have our max value of int 16, which is 65,000 something, right? Which is this value here, 65,536. And then since there need to be 3 indices per triangle for the most part, I mean, it's not exactly this because indices get reused, but for the most part, it comes to a max poly count per draw of 21,000. So we could have 21,000 triangles per draw call if we're using indices. But our draw ends up being more than that. So I want to use int 32 array, an unsigned int 32 array. That's what I'm trying to do. So that would give us way larger limit. But something doesn't work when I do that. We could just do a float 32, right? It doesn't necessarily be an int, does it? I can look at my shaders, how it's interpreting that. Maybe it does have to be an int. Let's look at I guess our structure vertex shader. This shouldn't matter too much. No, we're not even using indices in here. So maybe there's something about how draw elements uses indices that won't let you use something over int16. Let's look that up. GL draw elements, which I think I already did. Maybe I didn't. Right, so we need to pass through indices. Hold on. Draw elements, indices. So it needs to, there's somewhere in GL that I'm forgetting to look at, I think, where we tell it about how to use those indices. Right? Where does that go? What am I missing? Under type, right? So let's look at that. Maybe that's where it's failing. GL draw elements. Right, I think I tried this before, but I was on a different page. So when I was looking at whatever I was looking at, I thought our options were just short and byte, but now let's try just int, because I didn't see that. Maybe I was looking somewhere else. I was looking for, I don't know. I thought it was this. Let's try int. Okay, cool. Thanks. That works. So let's do an extra draw type for our 32-bit ones. Thank you, Cypress. And we're gonna have we're gonna call this our draw type elements. It'll say 32, int 32. I don't know. Let's add that to our constants. So that is type 2. Okay, and then this will be our int, and we just want to do that just on the certain ones that we're working with. So that would be, so we have our bind buffers int 32. We want to put this back to 16, not float. Okay, hold on. This is supposed to be uint 32. I still don't know for sure that'll work that way. I have to make sure, but I think it should, right? Otherwise we can make it a float 32. That's fine. And then let's go back into here and paste this in. We need to make sure this constant's defined. Let's define that in console. I should just refresh, but you know, lazy. All right, so if we paste this in, this should break things again, which is good, because now if I change our draw type on that entity, which is inside village, this one, when we create our village, we're going to change our draw type, and that is on somewhere around here. We're going to set the draw type to be the constant of this guy. And then we'll just throw that in console to update it live. So that's one of these here. Hopefully that's still 83. It should be. Yeah. Set it to 2. Yay. Okay, cool. Now we can do that. So after all that work, we can change our cursor to, I think it's like 4 and 5 what we're focusing on. Okay, 4. Whoops. So now we should be able to place these lanterns down. Perfect. And now here, placing down lanterns. Whoops, wrong key. Whoops. I need to like turn off the inertia because it's really awkward. Let's put that back. Maybe this would be a place where a corner one would look good. So let's try that because I haven't done those corner ones. But it should look good if I use the right corner. The thing that's awkward about it is I can't. Oh, well, I could if I did it in this corner, I think, or one of the other corners. This one. That's a bit awkward how I place it, but it's not that bad. So I'm going to do this corner, and then I need to have a way to show where we're at. When we redo the wall, it won't clip as bad, hopefully. Maybe we should just center it. It's probably fine to just center it. It's like there. Yeah, let's undo those corner ones. I don't love that. It's a good idea, but we'll do corner one somewhere else. I'm gonna put that wall back. What is the ID for wall? Again, we need better way to change between these instead of through console. I'm being lazy and haven't done it yet. Our wall's 7. Okay. Oh, those are on the outside. Whoops. Okay. So I'm going to set this back to 4 and get these spawned where we want them. And then maybe preview them. We need to make sure the particles spawn in the right spot now for these. And we need to make sure it's okay for sub-entities to overlay. I'm pretty sure that'll be fine. But I'm not positive. Now here might be a good place to have one since this is so narrow. If we do one on one of the sides, that might be a good place to put one. Yeah. But we want to make sure, shit, I should be drawing this a bit better. This should be one that can't divide. Yeah. Something like that. Alternatively, we can put them on the other side of the road, and that would probably be fine. And when we redo our walls to always be on the outside and model better, that'd probably be okay. But I think I like them on this side more. Maybe we'll get rid of that one and put it. Maybe we'll put them on either corner of this. That would probably look okay. Yeah, something like that. And then maybe we have lanterns in these corners. I guess that's okay. Whoops. I'm going to put that back to the centered one. Whoops. Don't want to delete by accident. Alright, so this is 4. Rotate, rotate. Delete this. Rotate. There we go. Alright, I think I found... Oh, nope, one more. I think I found pretty much everything. Another one here. This is one of those areas where it's a bit awkward. Oh, and do we need... Okay, there's no yard on that one. We fucked up that one somehow. Maybe we don't want a yard on that one, though. I don't know. Okay, let's redo all the data for... Whoops, for that one. I don't know why they're... Oh, I think I know why, because of how we spawn the wall. That's how... Okay, so first we want to place down all the block detect ones, which is for 6. First we want to do that. If we want yards to be on these, which I guess we do. Okay, let's fix my little mistake here. Let's put the building in. Okay, so it'll be here. Yes, those have yards now. And let's put that little wall back, which is 7, I believe. Whoops. I'm going to accidentally press back or something and undo all this and have to do it again if I'm not careful. So that would go right there. The walls are going to be redone at some point, but we don't have to worry about that right this second. Okay, not too shabby. Let's export this before I break everything and make myself want to cry. Okay, very good. So, let's look at that in the game, and then, well, maybe I should, before we do that, try to look at the lantern file. It's going to be a bit difficult to do this the right way. Can we get our... Let's see what we're pushing for sub-entities. So for the lantern, we're pushing a sub-entity. And it doesn't even give us rotation or anything. So that means we have to look up the layout to find out what our index and rotation is at that block. Which we're probably not currently doing, but we can do. So we have to run our function that's like get village block at placement or whatever it's called. Get village placements xz. Let's look at what we're doing that with buildings. Probably using that. Yes, we are. And that's just at the I'm doing some conversions though for the coordinates. Let me look what that function is doing. Yeah, it doesn't. Why can't we just pass them through? I feel like we should be able to. Let's try to do that. I'd probably have to do that outdoors though. Let's try to have this run and see what needs to be where. Stand right here where the tree is, right? Let's turn my player speed down, and the camera's all weird, and there's a lot of weirdness going on because I have no exit function for it. But let's get it at. Let's just pause the game because the camera's annoying me. Game.world.player.position.x. Let's just see if we pass this through. If it returns the right things. No. It does not. Now here I'm doing weird things, or yeah, we have to do it that. Why do we have to do it like that? It's annoying. All right, let's make this a whole fucking thing. Let's do it with rotation. Where are these properties even? Maybe we just won't have the glowing thing on it because they're already going to glow. Let's just refresh and get our new layout and see how bad they look. I mean, yeah, it's going to have the particle in the wrong spot, but since it'll be in the center, I'll try to imagine it without any particle. Maybe we'll even clear out our particles array to just get rid of everything. But I'll probably get rid of our clouds too, though, because our clouds, I think, are technically in the particle array. Okay, so we can see the lanterns. That's good. Well, I guess on text real quick. Okay, we can see them. They look a little bit flat, which we were expecting. I'll probably have to add some depth. They're also a little bit darker than I was expecting. Let's make it nighttime though. And yeah, so it would look better. Right now, that's right in the center, right? That's our glowing particle. I also probably want to make them a little bit taller. They're a little short. A little short for my liking. Yeah, the particles on each one of those would probably look pretty nice. And that's spawning double the particles in the same spot. So that's good that we know that it will allow double placements. I knew it would allow for the buffer, but I didn't know for sure if it would allow for sub entities, but it does. So that's very good. So that looks like twice as bright, but it won't once we spread them out. So yeah, I do want them. I don't know what this fucking error is, but I'm ignoring that for now. Also, having the double lantern has double the point light, so it's kind of like overly bright in a kind of bad way. We can turn down the overall brightness of each lantern. And that one's different, right? Because that's a center one, or an off-center one. It's a corner one. Okay, so the brightness is way too high if we double stack them. I like having the ability to double stack them because it makes my life easier. I don't have to make more models. But if we just dimmed all of them by half, then the ones that are single would also be dimmer, which is maybe not the best. We could try it. Maybe it'll be okay. Let me think for a second. Hold on. We can have it so just every single one of these lanterns is always in 4 directions. I want them way taller. I want them like at least double the height. Let's mess around with some stuff in Blender. Let's scale it up twice. Hold on, I want to look at that on the grid. Okay. Maybe? That seems so extreme, but I mean, these are pretty fucking tiny in the game. Maybe not twice. Maybe more like there. Let's compare that. Okay, so that goes up to here. And we scale it twice. Yeah, okay, so it's not that big of a difference. Okay, so player height is actually, I guess it's about where I was expecting that. Yeah, I said it was about 2 units, so it just looks a little bit taller right now because of the bunny ears adding quite a bit of height. But yeah, it might be like around there. I should just have like a base model that I start all my Blender files on that have objects to refer scale to. I mean, yeah, I know how big one unit is, but maybe I should just always have like a silhouette player on every single one of my Blender files. Just create a new file that has that, or copy from that, clone that base file, and have some reference objects in it. So let's go pretty big. Let's go scale 2. Why not? I might want to make these arms go a bit further out too, so it just feels a bit better. I don't know. I mean, yeah, they'll go for double the length. I'm scaling it on every axis, but let's go a little bit further out. It's annoying how I modeled this though, because I have to do it the same thing flipped. We'll probably just, hold on, do this. And then we can just grab everything here. Remove it. As long as our pivot point is that, if we didn't move that, then we can just clone this, rotate 180. Okay. Right, our vertex colors I wasn't happy with. Let's go to vertex paint. I mean, it is too flat. We need to put normals and stuff. Not normals. What's the word I was looking for? Textures and stuff on it. Completely different word. Whoops. It's also, yeah, so let's grab everything. Sure, even those, that's fine. To make it quite a bit lighter. Whoops. Try that. And then let's add a little bit of baked in lighting. At least there, and probably up here as well. Probably shouldn't be doing this triangulate it, but probably should be doing it with quads. And then for this one, we want to smooth those. So we want to go to paint, smooth vertex colors. Okay, that'll be better. And then I see those colors are too different between the top and bottom now, though. So I kind of want to grab this and paint around these corners darker, so just the very top has that. I think that'll be better. Okay, and these are going to have to be painted solid red so they detect the glass if we're going to continue doing the glass thing on it, which I think I am. Save that as a PLY. I want to change the color adjust we were doing on it, unless I have that commented out. I don't remember if I do. What are we calling it? Maybe I have it. Oh, I probably have color multiplier right here with the rogue color. Let's get rid of that. That's probably part of the reason why it looked darker. So maybe I made it a little bit too light this time, but I didn't realize I was doing that. Probably don't need to be passing through biome and stuff every time, but it really shouldn't be doing that much harm. Hopefully I didn't make it too light, but we can put a color multiplier on it to make it darker if I don't feel like going into Blender again. Oh, right, and that is on our corner one or our center one? That's on our center one. Yeah. What did I do wrong? That's right. Did I just select the blend file by accident or something? Yeah, I must have. Okay, we're not going to use UVs yet, even though I would like to use them eventually. And then instead of re-exporting the corner one, we should just be able to translate it in here. I just don't know exactly how much I want to translate it, and we don't really need to even double this. We can just no, we probably should. I could clone the array instead, since it's the same thing, but whatever. Where am I doing like a translate on this? Yeah, let's grab this. This is probably the right translation, I think. It should be 2 units and 2 units. I just don't know if I'm doing the right 2 units. Actually, it should go forward, shouldn't it? Oh, but negative Z is forward. Yeah. Okay, so that might be right. All right, paste this in console. I won't be able to see them update outside in here, but I will be able to see them update inside the editor. I need to have a better way to go into the editor. Let's fold these away. Okay, This should be our new scale. Oh, really? What'd I do? Okay, hold on. I just didn't update everything the first time. That's okay. I just forgot something. So for our village entity, our draw type is this. Let's just make sure this is correct. Let's maybe also look at that entity. So if I do game.world, it should be fine, but let's just make sure. Game.world.indoors.entities at index, I believe 83. Draw type. Oh, that is being reset. Okay. That means it's probably something in the constructor after that gets merged. So in theory, we can just do it out here. That will maybe work. If not, at least we know it's just that one line getting messed up. If not, then I'll have to look at how we're setting draw types. But that should be fine. All right, so it's a hopefully better scale. It still seems pretty dark, but maybe I did I paste the new stuff in? And also, yeah, I should have because it's a new scale. Oh, this is a good way to check. Did I break it? No. This is a good way to check if I offset the corner the right amount, which I did not. But let's paste this in again. Oh, let's also paste in this function where we're doing road color on it. So that's part of lantern. Yeah, let's paste this entire function in. This should help with a lot. Okay. Yeah, that's better. That may also be too light even right now, but maybe it'll be okay. Okay. It's better than the lanterns we used to have. I'll look at them at nighttime, but it's not going to be that informative in this mode. If I want to make them darker, I could just put a color multiplier on it. Okay, what else is on the list? We want to do the YHL stuff a bit. Yeah, let's just fucking do it. I might have to make a new layout to do that though, because this layout doesn't necessarily work well with that. I don't even know if this will ever look good to do this, but I want to do it. Let's look at the notes at the top. All right, so model better lanterns, which we didn't have an attached to building one, but other than that, it's pretty good. Yeah, like off the side of the buildings, that'd be cool to have. It's not necessary though. Maybe I want to have some smaller ones too. But I do think I need to reduce the brightness, especially if I'm going to do this double thing. So let's look at in lantern, where we create a light entity. Why is this tabbed over twice? That's too much. Is I doing that for a good reason? I don't know. Is this our light entity? Oh no, that's our glow. This is our light entity, yes. So only thing I can see to control this right now is our scale, but we should be able to control some sort of opacity on it too, I thought. I don't remember. Let's look at how we're doing lights in their default entity, I guess. Whoops. Okay, so this should be for, yeah, render light. We use the scale. Do we not do anything with opacity? Do we do anything with color? I mean, it's doing additive blending, I'm pretty sure. That would make sense. I mean, it is light. So instead of messing with scale, as long as it is additive and it's not mixing, then we should be able to just change the color value. It does need to be monochromatic, but that's okay. Because we're using different channels in a texture, so we're using the same texture as our shadows and using like the red channel for shadows and the, I don't know, we'll say the blue channel for light. And we're calling a draw call on it. Where are we doing stuff with light in our shaders? Our program ID, we're caching, and then we're doing a depth light program. So our depth light fragment, let's see what that gets. Not a whole lot. And I guess that's kind of a good thing. It's going to make it harder to do stuff with alpha. Let's look at the vertex, I guess, for it. Now, I don't think this is the same stuff for shadows, but it could be. Shit, maybe it is. Maybe we're using the same shader. Do I want to do that? So for the render shadow function, let's see what we're doing. Now we're just doing depth, which is our depth fragment of vertex, right? Yeah, so they're identical as they are right now, but we're doing that on the, or actually maybe they're not, because if we look at the fragment on depth, that's on the red channel, and on the light one, it's the green channel here. So in theory, we can pass something through to here, like a uniform for opacity or something, and just multiply it. Just some sort of uniform that's a float that we can change per draw call. If we open my opacity fragment shader, we have, yeah, uniform float u opacity. So in theory, we can pass this through here, multiply this, I guess, here. And as long as this is additive, it should be okay. And I'm pretty sure it's additive. And then let's go back to where we're doing light. Render light. Means we also want to cache how we're doing. Let's see how we're doing opacity actually. We're sending a uniform, but that has to be, so we have to have a cache of our draw funcs. And I don't think we have to reset the opacity necessarily. Because it's its own shader. Well, let's see, GPU opacity. That is a draw func. We could reset it and it won't be too harmful. But opacity, if it's not fine. So it'll be on there in the so we should just be able to add that, change the draw funcs. Yeah, we'll just manipulate the draw funcs, it's fine. So I keep losing where we are, but let's cache it and then reset it. So our cache will be for draw funcs. I probably want to clone it, I guess. And then I guess we're just going to make our draw func have that opacity thing on it. And we will set, so let's also cache the opacity. Okay, and then when we're doing the draw call, we want to reset draw funcs with our cache. Just do all of this. This dot draw funcs. Same with opacity. Okay, and then here we want to set this dot opacity is going to be our light opacity, or if we don't pass through light opacity, or maybe light strength, or I don't know what we want to call it. We'll just call it light opacity. Is that what really want to call it? Light value, light strength, light power, opacity. Strength is kind of the word that makes the most sense, but I don't know. Since we're using the opacity thing, maybe we should just call it that. Okay. So this opacity is the light opacity, or we'll just make it 1. And then I'm gonna call all that. We need to set the draw funcs, right? So beginning of this, we need to set, so draw funcs is going to equal, and then I think we just want to say like GPU opacity. Yeah. And then that should be kind of it. Let's see if this works. This should basically do nothing. Let's go outdoors. It should do nothing until we're setting the opacity. I probably want to reload the shaders. Oh, it's like a nighttime, right? Not daytime, nighttime. Okay, so we have really, really strong lights. We don't like them this strong, right? So if I paste this in, hopefully nothing changes. That's good. Let's try to overwrite it. Let's set our default value to like 0.5. Well, before we do that, let's reload the shaders, make sure those work. They might not. I'm not sure. Okay, we might want to wait a second for the shadow map to update with the light map to update, because they're at a very low interval, like once every 3 seconds. But that's probably enough time. So now if I went into here, hopefully pasting this in, okay, that worked. It was way dimmer than I was expecting. Let's do like 0.9. Why would 0.5 be like nothing? I guess it might make sense. Yeah, it makes sense in a weird way. Oh, I got text. Because it's doing like the way we're setting it, I guess we're using depth. Why do we want to do it that way? Why can't we just, I guess I was doing that because I was trying to make it so it's not 2-dimensional. So really we're like lowering it by doing it this way. The only solution I can think of is if we do it fully 2-dimensional. The issue with doing things 2-dimensional is, you know, if we have our ground here and whatever, we'll just draw like a house or whatever. If we had our lantern, right, or street lamp or whatever here, so ideally, you know, the way it would be lighting is something like that, right? That's where the light reaches. If we did it fully 2D, our light would be like this. So even if something was way, way, way up here, it would be lit just as much as if it was right next to the lamp, right? So I'm writing, it's really shitty code because it's still two-dimensional. Hold on. So yeah, I'm still doing it two-dimensionally, but I'm like trying to wrap the depth into it. And I think if I recall correctly, my light ends up looking something like that instead. Similar to this. It's not exactly that. And I think some light still like kind of does some weird shit like that. But you know, it's better than two-dimensional. Ideally it would be three-dimensional, but instead I have something like this. But since that's how we're doing it, we're using the depth, modifying this value with opacity, it still ends up working because as we go higher in this cone, the less bright it gets. So instead we're just like moving it down kind of. So this would be our original one, and then when we're bringing it down, it's like that. And since this is dimmer on the tops, right, it ends up dimming it. But it's not like a linear thing. We can't set the opacity to 0.5 and it just work. I also don't know if this is going to work perfectly because this is maybe affecting what the elevation is at. In theory it shouldn't, because this should zero out because our camera is raising with the terrain. But like this kind of works. But I have to be very careful about how much we multiply. So if we go back to our default value and we do like 0.95 just to test out what is right, where hopefully one lantern's still good, but maybe we want to change the scale instead. I don't really know. But that's not bad. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we don't have the super duper brightness now, so that's not bad. I don't love it. We could maybe just change the scale. Maybe I didn't want to do anything with this. Maybe this was a mistake. I don't know. It's nice to have. We'll leave it in there. Changing the scale we're probably better off with. I don't know. This looks like shit. Maybe we just don't want to have double ones, really. Let's get rid of most double ones because we don't really need them. Right, that could be a single one. And then the glowing particles. This is such a pain to implement correctly. If we couldn't rotate them at all, or it was symmetrical on both axes, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just do it this way. It's going to be extra polygons, which I don't really like, but I'm lazy, and this is a solution that will work. How many polygons is that? 500 fucking polygons? Hold on. What can we eliminate? To make sure there's no doubles, which there probably are. Actually, it doesn't really matter if they're doubles, I don't think, though. Maybe it does. Okay, that's helpful. Oh, but some of those are the back faces. You know what? Back faces, we don't need them. We don't need them. They're going to be so high up in the game, it's not going to be necessary. Okay, so that saves a little bit doing that. Still 500, but it saves a little bit. For these bits, let's convert this. So we're doing this as 6-sided. Let's make these 4-sided when they're up here. What's the best way to do that? If we take these two, yeah. Let's try doing this. Because you're not even going to see up here that much. They're pretty tall, right? Will that work? No. Merge. Merge. And then do the same side. I should get rid of all but one of these sides and then duplicate them. All right, so that's going to help. That's 4-sided now. All the shit that's going on in the center of that is unnecessary because it's doubling a bunch of shit. Yeah, okay, I have an idea of how I want to make this better. Let's get rid of those. Whoops. Oh, that was doing a weird doubling as well. I want to get rid of everything but one, right? All right, delete all those vertices. Very good. Get rid of these as well. Okay, so that's fully disconnected, which is good. Kind of. It's like weirdly rotated. I don't know why that is. I guess it makes sense. It does. Okay. Let's make this whole thing useful. Let's do merge here. Merge here. And then down here, let's even get rid of these ones because these are not going to get seen. Yeah, something like that. Let's grab this one and rotate it. Let's do 180 to start with. Okay. Let's grab these two. Whoops. All right, that's basically what we're going for. The center will have a hole, and maybe I'll just put a little face there to fix that up a little bit. See how many triangles this is and how we can improve that. Okay, so just that is really just, am I doing that right? No. If that's triangulated, which it should be, okay, so it's 76 faces, 76 triangles, just that. So then that times 4 is 304. So yeah, just the lanterns, if we make them this high detail, is going to be 304. And then the base is like another 100. Maybe these could be 4-sided. Maybe these don't have to be 6-sided. Yeah. Let's start. Oh, let's leave one as reference and then make another one like over here. Let's move our 3D cursor to select it. Bring a cube in. And start modeling this up. I guess I should have done it opposite. Yeah, hold on. It doesn't matter a whole lot. I feel like I do want it opposite though. I think it's gonna be easier. Because then I can model it in this view. Yeah, I prefer that. Every now and then I'm going, ooh, oh, it's duplicate. I guess that's fine. I wasn't going to do it that way, but that's fine. I want to rotate them 45 degrees too when I'm done with it, but I'm not done with it yet, so I don't want to do that yet. Now, depending how detailed I want to get this, I could extrude it. Bring it down, but that's probably fine. We'll see. That's centered? It looks not centered. Maybe it wouldn't be. Hold on. Why wouldn't that be centered? If we grab this and I bring it down, did that not scale in centered? Hold on, something's weird. When we brought that in, oh, what is that doing off of 3D cursor? Yeah, we don't want that. Okay, that's better. Okay. So we want to copy this, bring this down. Okay. And then maybe rotate that 45 degrees. Something like that. I want to have some of those bars on it and stuff, but this will be a much lower poly version of what we were making the first time. And then it needs to be brought down overall to something like that. Maybe scale up a little bit. I guess on there. Hold on. Just compare these. Okay, kind of similar. And then if we rotate that 45, that'll look kind of cool. But let's put the bars on it. How do I want to do that exactly? So the last way we did it, and I guess this would work, is if we duplicate it, rotate it 45, and then we're going to scale this up till it matches about correct. Now that's weird. It doesn't like line up exactly. I don't really get that. But whatever. I don't care. Alright, so then if I grab these until it lined up exactly. Okay, that's better. Okay, and then if we did a now scaling this in is going to be weird, but maybe it'll be okay. If we edge split them, see, this might not work with the taper I put on. Maybe I shouldn't have done that quite yet. But if we edge split those, also there's a couple faces that I can get rid of that was probably in the old model too, that was probably adding to it that I could have gotten rid of, that I'm just realizing now, but oh well. I mean, we could still use the old one. Okay, so something like that. And then if we bring it in on these axes, yeah, it straightens it out, which we don't really want. So I'm gonna have to be a little bit more careful about how I scale them in. I have to like do just these, I guess. See if that works. That should work. That should keep our taper. Oh fuck, how did I get rid of the middle bit? Did I get rid of the middle bit? Oh, I just have that selected too? Hold on. What am I selecting by accident? Get rid of this and this. Orthographic view is not helping at all with this. Okay, better. Much better. So now we can scale this in like that. And then we can do the same for the top. Yeah, and that keeps that angle. Okay, something like that. And then maybe we want to double up on those faces like we tried to before. And then I decided it was too many polygons, but now it says lower poly. I think it'll be good if we double up on them. I mean, this one still looks better, obviously, but I can make that look a bit more like this one if I want to. We're still going to do that 45 degree rotation. Okay, if we, let's make this a little bit nicer. Let's, how do I want to do this? Let's move our cursor to here. Whoops. I'll just add some like little finials and stuff to this. I just have to make sure that I get rid of those faces that we can't actually see. Not delete, merge. We have some details like this. Might help with things. I'm tempted to like put a cut through this and like do some fancy stuff, but probably shouldn't. All right, let's get rid of some of the faces that nobody's going to ever be able to see. Like these ones you definitely won't be able to see. Maybe some that like you technically could see. I'll get rid of as well. But like, you know, you wouldn't normally see them. All right, these faces you will never see. There's still some weirdness that I want to fix about this. That might be better. Which means maybe I can even merge that, which would be cool. And then bring it up. Ooh, yeah. That's kind of cool. Maybe we'll do the same for this and we'll save even more triangles. Yeah, it's not bad. It might be a bit too sharp on the bottom one, but we can play around this till it looks not shit. That's kind of cool. I want to do the top one a bit more similar to the bottom one. Yeah. So now, if we look at, I mean, yeah, there were some extra ones on this one, but if we just overall look at this, that was 76, and this one is 30. So less than half. And maybe even better looking, depending on your opinion. All right, if we grab this and rotate this 45, does that work? Oops, not like that, like this. Okay, that will probably look better overall long term. I'm tempted to move this down, but since that's all drawn on a single point, it might get weird. Maybe we just want to scale in a little bit. It doesn't need to be that big, right? If we look at this, yeah, it's a better scale. I want to like keep that thick. Maybe. It'd be cool if it was just connected right at the tip, but the problem is since this is hold on. So since this tapers to nothing, which maybe I shouldn't have done, maybe that was a mistake. Maybe I shouldn't do that. It would only be a few, well, kind of be a lot of extra stuff. If we did that, how terrible would that look? Maybe it's okay. It's kind of weird because there's like nothing connecting there. It's an infinitely small point. But I guess that's better than that. Just fucking around with weird stuff to try now. Maybe that's okay to do. Or maybe I should modify it so it like has something that like hangs down from there. All right, let's get rid of this. Let's duplicate this and rotate it around our 3D cursor at 0, 0, 0. So rotate at 3D cursor. Hold on. Let's grab them again and then duplicate and rotate 180 degrees, I think, right? Yes. Oh, and then I need to redo the things that hold them out. So I should have done that all in one go, but I didn't realize. Okay, something like that. I guess we'll put some faces here just because. So if we, hold on, let's be a little bit more elegant about how I'm going to do this. Yeah. Let's get rid of, we'll just do it bit by bit, I guess. So this one we want to be here. So if we put, whoops, not like that. If we move our cursor to select it, and then we move our selection to cursor, I keep pressing the wrong shit. That kind of is what we want. Is this gonna work out? Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I should just try to merge these points. And then put a face. Well, how many polygons are we at? 312, that's a lot better. Put a face here. Let's make sure we triangulate that, because that's going to be a quad. I mean, yeah, there's some weirdness going on here, but it's not like that bad, I guess. You're not going to really see it. And if you do, we can come back to it and fix it at some other later point. Did I get rid of all the weird extra faces? Yeah, I think I got rid of the ones inside there. All right, so 314 triangles. And since I remember, so it's 44 faces there, 44 triangles, and multiply it by 4. What does that give us? 176. So 176, so about half of the model is for the lanterns and about half is for the base. I mean, whatever, I'll be fine with that. Let's look at what it looks like in texture paint, vertex paint. Right, so we need to redo some of this shit. Okay, so let's grab everything and do, no, not everything. Let's grab the top and do a smooth vertex on it. Okay. And then on these, let's grab everything, but then deselect most things. All right, fill those in. These are gonna have to be solid red. Whoops. I mean, I'm kind of feeling lazy and I've worked on this long enough, so I kind of just want to try this out. The infinitely small points is probably going to look a little bit shit, but just curious what this looks like in game. They're a little weird and medievally looking, so I'm not looking forward to that. Also, I didn't realize the light clips through there. That might actually look kind of cool, to be honest. But I probably shouldn't do that. I think that's these faces. The texture view. Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, there's a center one for each of those. It kind of sucks because it's going to change the slant, which means you have to like do weird stuff to get this to look quite right with where this has to align, but whatever. Wait, that didn't change correctly. I want to do this on their individual origins. Okay. That's better. Okay, so if we look at this in texture view real quick, we should be pretty good to go. Okay. Hopefully I'm remembering everything. Export, PLY, all good. It's much lower poly, I think. I think we're at like 550 before. And what was the goal of that? I don't even remember. Oh, well, I want to have it so we don't want to have to double them up all the time, right? That was the whole goal of everything. And then we don't have to do weird shit with the lights, because the point lights look terrible. That's what everything was. I remember now. Let's grab this. Everything makes sense again. It took a little while to do, but it's okay. There was a point to it, and it was a good point. The writing of the whole opacity thing, that might have been a little stupid and pointless. But I'm going to just let it go for now. As long as our default is 1, which it is, then we should be able to leave basically everything alone. Whoops. We can change our light scale at any time we want. I'm going to have light opacity here, so I kind of remember that's a thing. Opacity. I might leave it commented out or just have it there as 1. I don't know. Maybe I'll leave it commented out with like 0.95 because I don't actually want to use it, but I want to know that I did that. Oh, and now, ooh, that's really good. So now this is so much better doing it this way. Now our particles, we can reliably know where those are, except if it's an offset one. We almost can do this. For our I0, I is under 4, I plus plus. So we just have to do some sort of shit with offsets eventually. Because it'll work on most of them, but then like the ones that we have offset, which are these ones, it won't work on those. But hopefully one day we get that working. So this is going to be our var. I'll just call these the pause adjusts. And if you look at the model, yeah, so just like this. There's probably a more elegant way, almost definitely a more elegant way I can do this, just using the just using the iterator. But since I'm lazy and dumb, this is how we'll do it. Am I doing this right? Hold on. No, I am not. Now I am. Okay. So that's our position adjust, and then for where we're spawning these entities, we just want to change our X and Z based off position adjust over a certain amount. I'm not actually sure what the scale will be yet. And the Y position is going to be definitely different. Now where are we defining that Y actually? Also, this is not in our for loop yet, is it? Wait. I know, yes it is. We need to unfold this. Okay, so where is position? Position is here, and we are adding this. Since I just scaled it twice, we could probably figure out where they should be placed actually pretty easily. If we grab this one and look at its positions, because we're not doing anything with scale, the X is 2.27 over and the Y is 6.24. So here this would be 6.24, and then our position adjust is based off I, so we're going to say plus position adjusts at I, and then for our X is 0. And we're going to multiply this. But first, let's add these. Yeah, let's just multiply them here. So it's offset by 2.27. Okay, that should work. And then we just have to worry about the ones that we're doing on the corners, which I'm not sure what my solution is going to be yet. I suppose the ones that we're doubling up now, we want to get rid of those. So I'm going to go into this model. So I still don't have that. So it's storing the, oh, that's weird. I can do it every frame. It's a shitty way to do it, but that would work. Game.world. I have a solution for this. I just don't know why it's not working automatically. .indoors, .entities, index 83, I believe. Yep. Yeah, that fixes it. I don't know why it's not remembering that. There's like a weird, awkward, like can't get to zone back here. That's okay with me though, because you're not really going to see that. And even if you can, it doesn't really matter. Okay, let's make this daytime. And then everyone that I doubled up, I'm going to delete one of them. And now rotation doesn't really matter. I am rotating them and I'm allowing rotations. It's kind of like a wasted storage value, but I don't care that much. It's really doesn't matter. And hopefully having them all as a quadruple light source thing looks okay. I think it will be fine. Okay, I think I got all of them. Yep. So now we're going to JSON, stringify. Oh, I gotta send another text message. Okay, we're gonna grab this. Go into our village file. And paste this in. Whoops, not like that. Yeah, I want to find out why the villages builder is broken. I may have to go soon because I have stuff I have to get done, but I want to keep streaming. All right, so why is draw types not being stored? Let's just have a reference to this. This is like kind of stupid and shitty. Dot village entity equals our village entity. And then since somewhere it's being overridden or something in the buffer function or something, I guess it'll be the buffer function. We're just going to set it always. I still don't even know if this will work on the very first one, but it'll work after that. Each time I have to buffer. So it's not ideal still. And I guess I'll leave this here just in case I was forgetting about something. And like I didn't do a refresh or something. But I'm pretty sure I did. And I'm pretty sure this needs to be done this way. And it's kind of a hacky thing, but since it's for a dev tool, it doesn't matter. I definitely wouldn't want to do that in game. But dev tools don't matter. Okay, and we can actually preview the new model, can we not? Yeah. So paste this in here, and then as long as we rebuffer, with the placement, draw type of undefined. Oh, that makes sense. This is why you don't want to paste everything console. I had to restart it because that gets defined on a init. It would have been fine if I went outdoors, and then went back into it, but whatever. In theory, what I could do, actually it doesn't matter that much, but in theory I can have two tabs open, one with the layout tool. Why does Siri think I'm talking to it? One with the layout tool, and one that is the game. Oh wait, still that. Really? This didn't crash it. So that's for if we're buffering. Oh, maybe we're buffering before init. No, that wouldn't make sense. So we're defining it in init, are we not? With our village entity. So here we're saying game.debugVillage.village entity is our village entity. And then buffer, we want to use that game.debug.village entity.draw type is this. So that's acting like we're calling buffer before init, which maybe we are. Yeah, maybe we are. Maybe there's a buffer within init somewhere. There is, maybe. I don't know. Let's look at where we're doing this. Yes, there is. Can we just do a buffer after that? I think we can. Is there a reason why I'm buffering before village entity? I don't remember. I don't think there is. So it has that model, maybe? Maybe so it has the model. So we're creating buffers. There's a couple things we could do with this. And I'm going to be really lazy about it. I'm just going to say if it exists in buffer. I got to look into that length of undefined bullshit. Okay, cool, it works. So I can preview the new lantern, which I don't know if I love. I might come back to it off stream and just tweak the model a little bit till I like it a bit more. But it's not bad. I mean, this is definitely a way better village layout than we had a couple days ago, right? Like much, much, much better. I still want to do things where we can raise our things, but the reason why I'm not doing that yet is because I want to make a new layout for that. I don't want to mess with my old layout because this layout, I don't really know where I would raise it. Like maybe over here, but I don't think that'd be great. No, I don't think that'd be great at all. So how do we want to do raises? In theory, in our builder, not that. In our builder, not our layout builder, but our village builder. Villages? Yeah, okay, there we go. When we're looking at our placement values, we use some information, right? We look at I and we look at R we're setting, right? So we're having an ID and a rotation value. However, I also want to have a Y value, and that will be this or 0 at index 2. Now I want to adjust our block Y based off of this, and we kind of want to cache var cache by, we'll call it. Yeah, I guess. It's going to be that, and then here we're going to have by plus equals, and every frame, or no, every time in the loop we want to have by equals our cache by, so we're constantly resetting it with our cache, right? And then that should be fine. We might want to reset it after the for loop as well. I'm not sure if that's necessary, but just to be safe, let's do that. That's for our block Y. And then here we're going to, that's if placement is an array. Do I need to do it like that? Are we always doing that? If array is array placement. What if it's not? Then we don't have that. Then it's an object and it's fine. And we're assuming we pass these values through. I don't know. Maybe this is always fine. Maybe it should be, because placement, it should always be an array. But we might run into issues in the future if I end up passing through like an object or something instead. But if we pass through an object that always has y, maybe we're okay. All right, so this is going to be our placement.y. Okay. I guess I should just check if I broke everything. Which, if we place something, okay, so it didn't seem like it broke everything, which is a good thing. That's a good start. Now we have to actually use that in the builder. We're not, oh, well, I guess we are using it in the builder. We're not doing it in the writer though for the layout. But in theory, if we went to where we're building our layouts, right? And that's in the update function. That's it. That should be in here. If in our cursor, we set, okay, so hold on. If we went to game.debugvillage.cursor .placement, and if we set a y value on there, right? Let's set it to 5. And then inside here, let's have it a default value, right? Set it to 0. And then in update, we want to check if we have that value and otherwise not pass anything through to it. What's the best way to do that? So we want to build our placement array, right? And that is, this shift thing doesn't even work. I'm just going to get rid of that. But our placement array is built here, and our placement array is our cursor set.placement. And then we're doing stuff with rotations where we're pushing that. Okay, that makes sense. An issue that might, okay, so what happens if you have an array? Var, let's pause the game. If you have an array, I'm guessing undefined goes there, and I'm not sure if I will want that. But if you have an array, right, and let's just say our array is 1, right? And let's look at our array, right? It's just 1. If we do array at index 2 now, so that'd be the 3rd position, and we set that to 1 as well. Is that gives us one empty one? Empty, that's a weird value. I don't know how that works. I don't know how my code will play with an empty value. So maybe we should force 0 if we're going to do a rotation. So, or a y adjust. So here, and I probably want these to be integers. I don't know if I want it to force to be an integer or just always pass an integer. But if cursor.placement.y, if that exists, then we're going to make sure there's a value on index 1, but we definitely want to push this. But before we push it, if there is no value at 1, so if that does not exist, then we're going to define it as 0, because I don't know what will happen if we don't do it that way. Okay, so if we update our update loop here, and if I change our cursor's placement, which we already did, in theory, if I place this down now, ooh, that fucking works. Wow, that was easy. Cool. So if we had like staircases and stuff, I can have a part of our village that I probably wouldn't raise it that high. Why do we gotta have spam? Why Corbett? Is this a bot, I guess? How do I do this? Like timeout that 1 S? So I have to say, I don't know if I did that right. Also, that ends up going to all the, how do we time people out? Hold on, I can figure this out. I mean, it doesn't matter. There's nobody really watching, and everybody. Oh, did that work? That did work. I guess it doesn't. It just doesn't show up in my restream panel. Cool. It doesn't really matter. There's not many people watching, and I'm pretty sure the people watching are. I'm pretty sure you guys are smart enough to know not to click on those things. Okay, so that worked out. Oops. that worked out fairly well. We can have those stored and used, I'm pretty sure, correctly. So if we had some staircases and stuff, it's not, we can do that to literally any entity. So if we set this to 3, yeah, this should be raised as well. That's so cool. Now, some issues that will arise. Number 1, we don't have staircases. Number 2, the player will not necessarily, we have to build code for it, but the player automatically does not know to walk up that elevation. It won't be blocked. It'll just walk through it, right? It'll treat everything as the actual terrain elevation. So we're going to have code where we detect the placement Y value and then have that be set to our new elevation, which actually won't be too difficult to do. The hardest part will be the staircases probably. And that won't be probably too difficult. It's easy to like snap right to a unit. So if our position, let's set this to this, if we're standing in this tile and the elevation is set to that 3, we can just snap to that, right? So we're just walking up there. And then when we have colliders, we won't have to worry about, just teleporting up. So that actually shouldn't be too difficult. The staircases though, we're not snapping. We have to like do like a 45-degree thing where we're like sloping up to where we have to go. So I'll have to have a special code for that. But that was fairly easy to do. So now if I make a new village layout, which I kind of want to do, we can try to mess around with stuff. I don't have really a model ready to go for walls. In theory, we might not want to use this model because, we may have something to show. So it's not just a floating tile, right? It needs like walls on it, right? And then that would make a lot more sense. But let's just clear this whole layout. Maybe I should do a commit so I don't lose some of my layouts. Or you know what I'll do? This is like stupid way to do this, but if I went to where we have our layouts, I just want to copy paste that a few times in a few places. That way, if I'm an idiot later on, I'm just like, oh, I want to get rid of that layout with my new layout. And I just overwrite it. And I save and I close or whatever. We have it over here. We have it 2 more places, So if I accidentally just overwrite it here, we should be good. I'm even going to do another one. I'm just very, very paranoid. I'm going to do another one commented out hidden there. Because I know how stupid I can be. Okay, so let's clear this entire layout and let's try to make one with some elevations. We don't have all the right models to do this yet, but that's okay. So now if I just click, right? Yeah, cool, new layout. All right, let's try some things. I wish I had a staircase. Maybe I should have modeled a staircase before I got too into this, but I don't. So let's have some that are higher. Let's just have like a higher area, right? I don't want to make it too big because the edges of the villages, I'm probably going to want to have that all at, 0 elevation. I don't want the edges to be raised. That's going to look weird. In theory, we can have the edges have the terrain raised with it, but I don't want to do that. So something along these lines. We'll have an upper area like this. And then we'll have a lower area. I really need to build some sort of tool to at least quickly swap between tools. Even if I can't like easily see what I'm going to, just like go to the next one. Let's try to place some buildings. Okay, that works. I wish my cursor was higher. We could actually do that pretty easily, I think. Yeah, let's bring the cursor Y up. which means I kind of wish I had solid walls. That would probably be a better way to do this, but that's okay. So in the cursors update, where do I want to do this? I don't think I want to do this here. No, not here. In the update function, right? We want to change position Y based off of the cursor entity's placement Y value. So this plus cursor dot placement dot Y. Okay, this should raise it up a good amount for us. Yes, perfect. So the cursor will show where it's going to be drawing. Might want to change some things about the cursor, but that's a little bit better. So where the hell's front? Okay, I don't know how I want to do this. Maybe I want to do it so something like this. And I wish I had side corner buildings, which I don't. What if we did kind of like this? This might be okay. And then maybe on this side. Then we'll have a little merchant and stuff on the sides of the buildings where it looks like shit. That might be okay to do. I probably should do these so they can be 2x2s for some of them. Or I guess technically they'd be what? 1, 2, 3, 4x2s? I guess all these placements could have been that. And maybe should have been that. Oh, hold on, I gotta fix this. Because now there's a hole. In theory, I guess you wouldn't see that, but depending on what the model it shows, I guess you maybe would see it. Do I want to force these all to be 2x2s? I don't know. Yeah, we'll force them. That's fine. Oh, fuck this camera. I'll put those back. I'm fine with it. Okay, is this facing the right way? Yes. Okay. I have no idea if this is what I want the village to look like long term, but I've never done things with height adjust, so I just want to play around with it. Let's make sure it has lots of space around it. Ideally, we'd put like fountains and shit all up in here. But let's have it so it has a 3 wide thing to go around, and that way we can do planters inside there. You know, it has that nice center point. I didn't test out the glowing things at night for the lanterns. I probably should do that. Maybe because I never refreshed. I don't think I did refresh ever. Okay, so then if I put our placement to 1, I have to rotate them. But, you know, we can have these here and here on these side buildings because they're a bit awkward. Okay. Maybe have some planters on, I don't know, corners or something. We need like big tall walls and staircases. And then in theory, I don't know how it would look. We need walls and staircases. Let's just try some things. So let's place some more down here. These will probably be changed, but actually we'll probably still have these here. I don't know if I want to have some buildings. I don't know how this should work because I've never really thought this through fully. I just like the idea of having elevation changes so everything's not so fucking flat. Okay, well imagine a wall there. We don't have it yet. I could do the mini wall, but the mini wall is no good. if my mini wall goes through the floor enough, actually, that might be okay. Ooh, that would actually be a good thing. Yeah. So I can just remodel that. What is the wall though? I don't remember. It's like 5. Nope. 4? No, it's not 4. Maybe it is. No. I don't remember. Is it 6? This is why I need an interface. Nope. 7? Yes. Okay, so if we raise that up, how far does that go through the ground? It doesn't. But if we change that model to go through the ground, holy shit, that'll be really good. That'll be perfect. And then we don't need to do anything too special. As long as the wall is modeled in the right place, but we can make sure of that. Yeah, that's exciting. We could do that. We could do that right now, actually. Okay, so that would be for, we want to set the Y again to, I think we were doing 3. Yeah, so if I place these around, as long as that model was a lot lower, that would be perfect. And then we just would have to imagine a staircase in certain areas. This tool is working out well. I like it. I really like it. This would have been so hard to figure out with, hold on, let me get it open. With this thing, figuring out like all the elevations and how it's going to look and stacking different things, that would have been so hard. This, so good. So fucking good. Yeah, and I'll just get rid of that shift stuff because it never worked and I really don't need it. I kind of like having to place them one by one. Maybe I'll leave the code in there so I can try to look at it one day to fix it. But yeah, we just need to change that model on the wall, which we can probably do pretty easily. In fact, we can probably do it in code right now. If we go to wherever the hell that file is, that's a static models, and we look at the short village wall. And if we just like, what's the best way to do this? I should probably just go into Blender. Yeah, you know what? Let's just go into Blender. I was gonna go about this a stupid way. I just have to find the wall, so it's not actually that easy. But if we look up like short village wall blend, okay, that was easy, and this should be correct. The scale is a bit funny, but that doesn't matter. We just want to bring this way the fuck down so we can have really tall walls if we want, especially because this scale is not right. Whoops. This scale is not right. It's really like, I don't know, something more like, I think that-ish is the scale we're going to end up using. So it's not as tall as you think it is. Maybe I should fix the scale problem right now. No, we're not doing it on the Y, so it's fine. Okay, let's save this. Let's export it. Let's grab the data in wherever that is here. Hopefully I'll be able to search it because Windows is giving me some issues with how I have these files organized. I keep typing shirt instead of shirt. Short shirt. I can't say it and I can't type it. Okay. So now in theory, if we just paste this in and just throw this into console, and then we just need to rebuffer one of the blocks just by placing anything. Yeah, cool. All right, it needs like maybe some textures and better colors and things like that, but that's not bad. That looks kind of cool. And then we could have walls of any height. So if these were a little bit too short, so it would look like you'd fall off it or something, we can bring that up. Oh, that's cool. Okay, let's do lots of different things now. Let's do planters up here. Let's do lanterns up here. Let's do all different things up here. So that would be for I, and I think like it's like 10 or something. Let's see what 10 is. Let's just do it over here. No, that's the curb. Is it 9? And then like one is like 24. Maybe that's the tree. No, okay, I don't actually remember what the different ones are. Oh, well, that's because it's in the sets. It's not the actual ID, it's the array where I have it stored. Correct. Yeah. So it's 11 and 12. And that is for placement 10 and 25, but we don't need to really memorize those. We need to memorize these. And once they build the fucking interface, I stop being lazy. And that will be the correct way to do it. Okay. So we have that. Oh, that's going to be a bit interesting. Maybe we just won't have planters at higher elevations because it won't show the terrain. Well, look at that interesting floating bee up there. Okay, let's not do planters right away. Maybe we'll do different types of artificial planters where it looks like they're in. Yeah, that's fine. We can still have trees. They just need to have a different type of planter. So they're not just a hole in the ground. We can do it so it's like a raised box planter or something. But so we also probably can't do yards easily on the higher elevations, but that's okay too. We don't need that. Okay, so we can do string lights when I have that working. And I don't know fully why that's not currently working. Let's try that again. They weren't working, and I'm pretty sure this won't work. But let's just see. Yeah, we don't see them. All right, I'm gonna take a look at what maybe it was going to. Yeah, maybe it's going to the static shader. We'll probably get static shader working eventually in this tool. I just haven't done that quite yet. It shouldn't be that difficult, I don't believe. Okay, but we can have lanterns up. So let's do a centered one, which is 26. No, not 26. I have to remember that. I don't want to be looking at this number. I want to look at this number. So it's 4. Cool. I like that. I don't know exactly where I want to be placing them. If we didn't have these here, it would be less awkward. I don't know. Just the corners is fine to start out with, I guess. Yeah, I don't love this model, at least in this view. Maybe in the regular game view, I'll be happier with it. But I don't love a lot about it, and things will probably have to be tweaked about it. Okay, we should imagine some staircases, and some different wall placements. That would be kind of okay. And then somehow we'd have, I'm not exactly sure how I would do it, but somehow we would have, buildings at this level as well. So I'm just a little bit concerned about like the back of the buildings and like how they're going to be seen, which way things should be facing. Maybe I should place down some more roads first. Whoops, did that break it? Okay, no, it didn't. Good. Let's place down some more roads, which is why the shifting would be nice. But it doesn't work. And I'm afraid to try because I don't want to like break this layout. But this is like where it'd be nice to do shift, right? So we just click here, and hold shift and walk to where we want to fill to. And then just hold shift and click here, and it will fill everything in between. I don't know why that's not working. We had it working in the other tool, but that's okay. I'm going to fill in some of this and figure out where we want these placements to go. It's not that bad having to fill these in. At least I can still hold down. I don't have to click each one. I can just hold my mouse cursor and walk around. So it goes kind of quickly, but it would definitely be faster if we can have some sort of fill tool. Especially when I do shit like that and accidentally walk in the wrong tile. Alright, so that's mostly a wrap of 3 units other than here. I did, I think, 4. At least 3 I want. This one's 2. Let's do another one here. That way depending how I want to do this, we can have things centered for like tree planters and stuff. Maybe I should export this. But I don't know. Let's do some buildings. So maybe I want to have, let's do this one. Is that facing the right way? Should be. Yeah. What if we did like this here? We probably want some openings. Let's do like, I guess, a 2 wide opening. I guess. I don't know. Oh, we probably want roads underneath those too. Not if they have yards, but this is all just like kind of like sketching it out because I don't know how I want to do this. Should those have yards? They probably should. Yeah, so they're gonna be moved back one. So I should put in those little filler blocks. Yeah, let's do this a little bit differently. Okay. Let's go back to this. I'll try to align this so it should be, I think, here. So this will be our little pathway, right? And then let's make this wider. Oh, whoops. Yeah, this might be an okay layout. This might work out. I'm not sure if I put the heights at the same level that I want it to, but that's okay. We should be able to change that pretty easily. All right, so that would be, we want the block thing. It's 24, which is at 6. So we need to fill this in up to, I guess only, well, it depends how wide I want this to be. I guess we'll go all the way up to this wall. And I probably want to do the same thing on the other side. And that's getting pretty close to the edge, but it might be okay. That should be okay to do, I think. Eventually, I definitely want to be able to translate like a giant selection. It doesn't necessarily have to be in this tool editor. We can maybe just do it in JavaScript. But yeah, if I did something and I have it too far to the left or something, that would be like a pain, obviously, to try to move those, right, block by block. So you do want to have something where we can just like offset layout and just offset everything by whatever we put in. We could just have like a console command or some sort of UI buttons where it just loops through everything and changes their X or Z value by that offset. That's something we definitely 100% want. Maybe for the whole layout, it'd be easy to do for the whole layout. It would be harder to do for a selection, like move a selection over. So at least we'll start out with doing it for the whole layout. Okay, I want to make sure I have it so the buildings are facing the right way. Okay, that is correct. So then in theory, if I do this here, yes, those will have yards now. Let's do this one, I guess, here. Ooh, that's weird. That's not lined up where I thought it would be. It's actually okay once I have a 2x3 building, which I don't have yet. But when I have a 2x3 building, that will be better. Same thing over here, which means I paint this out a bit too far. Now, removals, I do have to individually click. I could make it so I hold them, and I had that, but I was accidentally removing too much. So I got rid of that. I guess we could do that as a 2 wide. Whoops. I think this will look okay. And then through this pathway, we'd have a staircase right here. Let's have a, well, we'll just pretend that there's one there. I want to put some walls around it, like here and here, as the sides of the staircase, but I don't have that yet. Well, I could do the walls, but I don't want to change all my values that I have in console right now. Oh, fuck, I removed too much there. It should be okay. I just need to put that. What's that one for? Block 24, which is 6. Okay. I should really export this. Now, that would be pretty steep stairs if I just did it like that. So either I want to have 2 sets of stairs, right? Two wide, or I don't have this raised part be raised quite as high. I kind of like how high it is, though. I think it's hard to say for sure yet. Yeah, I don't know for sure what I want this to look like. And it probably isn't centered that well, but that's okay. And I don't know if this area is necessarily how big I want my villages to be, I can, you know, make that whatever I want. I can change the village size variable to whatever. So I'll have to figure all that out eventually. I guess I'll get rid of these tiles since right now they don't have a building. They might end up having buildings, but I just want to like export. Whoops, that's the wrong thing. I just want to export this and see if it works even in the world. It definitely should, because the viewer code, which is really nice. This viewer code, right, the dev tool code uses the same exact code as the actual game, right? So the builder, if it looks right in the dev tool, then it should work, you know, outside the dev tool. I guess we'll do this here. I want to have walls around this area now, but I guess I'll do it as a 3 wide. I guess we'll get rid of this here. So we'll need to have it so we have a staircase model and then staircase interaction, and then like, so we're actually raising the player's height if we're standing on those tiles. How did I do that on that side? Okay, so it's like weirdly offset. Oh, because there's 3 here and 2 here. That's fine. So maybe on this side we'll allow 4, and then do something with like stalls on that side or something. I don't know. All right, let's do some walls that are at a regular height. And the walls are 7, I think. Yes. And I probably will have to come back and redo the walls at some point, because they're like, oh, I guess it wouldn't matter too much depending on how I do the model, if they're on the inside or the outside. But right now, you know, I'm putting them on the inside. I could put them on the outside, and I don't know what's really the best solution. See, like, you get that weird gap, but if I maybe modify the model, I can eliminate most of that. Let me fix this before I forget about it. And we obviously need some openings to this wall so you can get into the village, but I don't know. It's just a fun test of elevation changes in the village, because we never were able to do that. Whoops. It's a bit difficult to stay in line with the grid sometimes. These aren't going to be walls here because we're going to have buildings on this side probably. But I just want to test this out in game and see what happens. I guess on this side, yes, especially since it's so wide, we can continue the yard. So that is for yard curb, which is 10. Okay. And then we want to fill in that little block that I messed up. Okay. Should we do the same thing on this side? Yeah, you know what, we could, because we'll bump it out. Okay, and then we need to do 10 for this. Even if some things are a little bit tedious, I don't mind it, because this is kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of fun to use this tool. It's kind of therapeutic. Where did that placement go? Over here? I think so. Yeah, I think this will look cool. And maybe we'll have a staircase on probably just 2 of the sides. Probably not all 4, but we could do all 4. All right, and the wall was, I believe, 7. I'm going to end up memorizing these, and then by the time I have them memorized, I'll finally build an interface where I don't have to have them memorized. Okay. I mean, obviously that's not the whole full village. We need buildings on probably all 4 sides. Maybe I'll do a couple things with stalls. Yeah, let's do a couple things with stalls. We'll start down low, and then we'll put some up higher if we need to. Just do like one there and one there. Something we can also do, especially for these stalls, is have some sort of special code, some sort of metadata that says a chance of spawning them, because like some places we do want to be like very controlled, like up here, and probably always spawn one. But like over here we can say, you know, you can spawn them on all these tiles, and for each tile there's like a 20% chance for that spawn. We don't need a, you know, that way just a little bit more randomness to it. Like they're not always so symmetrical, not always in these exact same places and stuff. That's something we could eventually do. It's probably a good idea to do something like that. But this might look kind of cool. I know it looks stupid with all the same model, and I do have to like at least change the colors on them, but we need like completely different models at different sizes and all different things. You know, I can just I can only do so much in one day. All right, let's have some openings to these walls. Maybe we'll have an opening here. And then I guess on, yeah, let's do an opening here for the staircase. And then I guess we should have an opening there. And might as well have one on this side. Whoops, a little bit too much. And we'll do one here, I guess. Yeah, we'll have a stall there. Sure. Whatever. This is all going to get modified eventually anyway. I want to have those inset walls though. So that's for, we want to change our placement. I think that's for this wall, right? I think. Yes. We want to change the Y value to 3. Maybe we'll even have some sort of way to edit the Y values of an existing placement, but that might be a bit awkward, because I don't know if everything for the same tile will always have the same Y value. In theory, right now, just thinking about it, it kind of seems like they would, but I'm not really sure. All right, so the only place that I like how it has the offset and elevation is where we actually have buildings on both sides. So, you know, it kind of looks like shit where there's not buildings down here, but we will have buildings down here. I just don't feel like placing them all right now, right this second. I probably should end the stream soonish. I feel like I've been streaming for a while. And hold on, let me send a text message to see what I got to do. Okay, depending on the reply to that text, I may have to get going, but even if I don't have to get going, I might get going because, I don't know, I feel like I streamed for a while. It's hard to check my uptime because I took a little like half-hour break. I stopped the stream for that time. Ooh, I accidentally have a double placement here. I'm guessing that's on. Oh, weird. I don't know when I did that. Let's rotate this. There we go. Maybe I'll do a little bit more building placement somewhere. I don't know. Let's just see what this looks like in game. JSON stringify village layouts. What the fuck? How am I gonna get my work? Why isn't that working? I just spent all that time. What the fuck? What is that using? Isn't that using village layout 0? What the fuck? What is... Because I redefined it? But even if I redefined it, it's using something in the game to model this off of in the buffer function. Hold on, if we just look at this. Okay, it has data. It's because I redefined it. Fuck, how do I make JSON realize what the new one is? Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. I may have to redo this off stream. How come JSON stringify doesn't realize that that's been updated? Can I like do this? No. Can I? Ooh, what if we do the whole thing? Nope. So that is it, but I redefined it to clear it, and now like the way that JSON's looking at doesn't know the new one, and it's really shitty and confusing. Ooh, I have an idea. Let's store it as a variable var new r equals or maybe we could even clone it, but I'm not going to clone it. Let's do a reference first. Village layout 0. Then let's try to do a JSON dot stringify on new r. If not, I can do a clone, and that should probably hopefully work. New r. Okay, that doesn't work, but what if we clone this? Fuck. I lost it. There's no going back. It's gone forever. Fucking Windows shortcuts. I hate them. It's okay. I'll do it off stream. That really fucking sucks. I always end up doing that with the browser fucking back button because I try to change how I select text because I'm used to using a Mac, and then I want to fuck, and then press I can't. It's too much. I gotta go. This is bullshit. God damn, that sucks. It's okay because it's not really okay, but there's nothing I can do about it. Oh god damn. I mean, it's not that bad. I'll do it off stream. It'll take maybe 20 minutes. Maybe I'll do it a little bit nicer the second time around. Is new array still stored? No, of course it's not. And I cleared my console too, so I can't even fucking look at it. God damn. There's no way to get it back. Literally no way. Oh well. Definitely not going to do that again on stream right now. Okay, well, thanks for watching, guys. Every end of this stream is basically stream until I get too frustrated. That's what it's been like lately, so that's right now. I'm too frustrated, so I'll come back tomorrow nice and relaxed, and I'll stream until I get too frustrated again, which is good that it takes me so long because I've been streaming for I don't know how many hours, but I don't know, probably at least 8 at least. Probably more than that because my uptime is like 3 hours and 10 minutes, but that's because I took a half-hour break, and before I took a half-hour break, I'm pretty sure I was doing at least like 4 hours of uptime at least. All right. Man, I wish that didn't happen. I could have done it too if I just fucking cloned it. That probably would have worked. But I had to accidentally press browser back. At least I'm saying it's therapeutic, right? It's nice and therapeutic to relaxing to make the layout. All right, I'll do it when I'm relaxing on my laptop, probably off stream. Make a couple layouts, or maybe just make one. I'll make that one layout. I guess before I end the stream, I'll do a little commit. Okay, so we fixed awning scale bug. Add it. improved village yard transitions. Improved village lanterns. Added merchant stands. Or I'll just say add it 1 by 1 merchants, I guess. Merchant village merchants, I guess. Let's see what else is going on here. I don't really care about that 32. I guess I could write it. Add it new int 32 indices for larger draw calls. We can probably even have it so it intelligently checks the lengths, and then maybe we can have it so it, you know, it can set that automatically to use uint32 if it goes over that size. Something I could probably do. Let me put that in my notes. Maybe have it automatically check buffer size, then set uint 32/uint 16 and check buffer data on draw for draw type. Something like that. I don't know. Okay, constants doesn't matter. Utils doesn't matter. Although I'm a little bit confused why. Oh, maybe that's not month April. I was expecting to see the Easter decorations. I don't know why I don't. Maybe that wouldn't be April, what we set it to. I don't know, it doesn't matter. Fucking, it's so weird how the get comparison, whatever the hell this thing's called, is so messed up for that. But it doesn't matter. Improved village layout tool. We added a way to do Y positions, and then I fucking lost all the Y positions I created. Static, probably nothing important going in there. Oh, and then we kind of improved point lights, but in a way might have made them shittier. That's right. Improved point lights. I might take out our quote unquote improvement since it's kind of not an improvement. I think this was mostly having to do with fixing the awning bug, I think. Yeah. And then lantern stuff. Okay. Let me just read over this, make sure I didn't I guess we'll stage our notes that we made change to. Fix awning scale bug, improved village yard transitions. Gotta make sure I'm typing this correctly. I mean, I always have typos in my commits anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Improve village lanterns, add it 1 by 1 village merchants, add it uint 32 indices for larger draw calls, improve village layout tool, and improved point lights. Okay. Commit. All right. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I appreciate it. I'll have to update the build on the server soon. Maybe when I have a couple more village layouts, I'll do that. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Maybe no, there's not enough people watching do a raid. There's not many people here. All right. I'll see you later. Have a good day.